Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the January 17th Downtown Design Review Committee. I'd like to remind everybody to please silence your cell phones. First order of business is roll call.
Anthony Blatt.
Here.
Corey Bates. Present. Gary Jones.
Present.
Julie Kriegel.
Present.
Deborah Richards.
Present.
Mariana Sador. And Rosie Trujillo.
Do we have a quorum? Item number 2 is approval of the minutes. Minutes are included in your packet.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes. I'll second that.
That is a Kriegel-Richards motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 3 is cases withdrawn, and we have none. Item 4 is continuance requests. We have none. Item 5, the consent docket. There is nothing on the consent docket. Item number 6, cases for individual consideration. There are none. Under item number 7, I would like to move items C and D to the front, if it'd be okay with everybody. And so we have resolutions for Nathaniel Harding and Chuck Ainsworth. I think Lisa is going to read the resolutions.
Okay, I'll start with item 7C for Nathaniel Harding, who Nathaniel resigned, and Gary is his replacement in the citizen member slot on the committee. A resolution of the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City acknowledging Nathaniel Harding for his valuable service and dedication to the Downtown Design Review Committee. Whereas Nathaniel Harding has faithfully devoted his time and expertise to serve the citizens of Oklahoma City as a Downtown Design Review Committee member from May 2016 to January 2019, and whereas Nathaniel Harding has routinely contributed to the committee through his expertise as a business owner and community volunteer, and whereas Nathaniel Harding has demonstrated uncommon dedication to the committee through his methodical attention to detail and earnest regard for the applicable standards and guidelines in the consideration of projects presented to the committee, and whereas Nathaniel Harding's sincerity, collaborative spirit, and compassionate nature have served the community well in resolving conflicts and offering sound technical and creative advice to applicants, and whereas the fulfillment of Nathaniel Harding's responsibilities on the committee was achieved with an earnest devotion to the well-being of the community and the overall betterment of downtown. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Downtown Design Review Committee hereby respectfully commends Nathaniel Harding for his outstanding years of service to the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City, adopted by the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City on the 17th day of January 2019.
Would you like to provide any comments or final words?
Nathaniel Harding, 320 Northwest 16th Street.
I didn't get that.
Yeah. Thank you all so much, and welcome to some of the new members. And really appreciate what's done here with this body and what the city staff does. So just appreciate the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Thank you. So I need a motion.
I'll move to approve the resolution.
That's a Bates-Kriegel motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So item 7D.
Yes. A resolution of the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City acknowledging Charles Ainsworth for his valuable service and dedication to the Downtown Design Review Committee. whereas Charles Ainsworth has faithfully devoted his time and expertise to serve the citizens of Oklahoma City as a Downtown Design Review Committee member from, this is not a typo, May 2007 to January 2019. And whereas Charles Ainsworth was among the inaugural group of Downtown Design Review Committee members and therefore especially charged with establishing and demonstrating enduring standards for committee procedures, conduct, and decorum. And whereas Charles Ainsworth has served longer as a member of the Downtown Design Review Committee than any other member in its history. And whereas Charles Ainsworth has routinely contributed to the committee by using his expertise as a licensed real estate professional to promote the development and redevelopment of the downtown area. And whereas Charles Ainsworth has demonstrated uncommon dedication to the committee through his methodical attention to detail and earnest regard for the applicable standards and guidelines in the consideration of projects presented to the committee. And whereas the fulfillment of Charles Ainsworth's responsibilities on the committee was achieved with an earnest devotion to the well-being of the community and the overall betterment of downtown. Now therefore be it resolved that the Downtown Design Review Committee hereby respectfully commends Charles Ainsworth for his outstanding years of service to the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City. Adopted by the Downtown Design Review Committee of the City of Oklahoma City on the 17th day of January 2019.
Please, come forward. Yeah, this is...
Chuck Ainsworth, 326 Northwest 18th. He was in law school when I started. But I'd like to thank the staff particularly. I think you guys do a great job, and congratulations to the new members. Watch your back. You know, they say, well, now you have some guidelines for demolition, which is going to help. But they say the road to senility is paved with plaques and honors, and I'm taking one more step today. Thank you.
Could I have a motion, please?
I'll move to approve the resolution.
The Bates, Kriegel motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I failed at the beginning to recognize our new members. I'd like to take an opportunity to welcome you all. Gary Jones, Rosie Trujillo, and Mariana Sarur. Okay, I'll try to get those better in the future, but welcome. We appreciate you here. Item number 7A, going back, is case number CE00981 at 35 Northeast 6th Street. Is the applicant present?
Yes, their representative is here. So for the new members' very first meeting, we have a very interesting case, and there are a lot of factors involved that make this interesting, and I'm just going to go to the roadmap that I made, which is the easiest way to follow it. Only about half of this block is within the Downtown Design District, where you have purview over, and previously you all had approved a renovation project on the old telephone buildings here, and as you can tell from the pictures, and I'll go back to them in a minute, the whole block is a construction site, and I was out there the day that it was really nice and muddy. But they're working on it. It's going to be a really great project. So as you can see, the remainder of the block is in a PUD that predates the Downtown Design District, which means that development does not have to come before you. However, one of the owners of this property purchased the south 26.5 feet right here where the hand is, which is in the Downtown Design District. And so their request to close the alley and subsequently vacate it does involve a small piece of land that's in the Downtown Design District, which is where my hand is right now. So in researching this, I discovered back in 1933 This green crosshatch was closed. They didn't call it a CE back then, but there's an ordinance that I found, but it was never vacated. So technically, the alley still exists, although physically it was never in. And the pictures that I took the day that I was out there, I'm standing looking at where the alley would be, and I mean, it's hard to tell because they're in the middle of construction, but there physically is no alley. It's all part of, the AT&T, the telephone project. It's all going to be part of their open area that they have outside. So all of this information to basically say staff has no objection to what they're proposing to do. From the standpoint of the downtown one, their back-of-house stuff that you normally find in the alley, they have room for all of that going on because they go all the way to 7th Street. So their trash that you typically think of can be picked up without a physical alley being in. And so as far as this project going in, I'm assuming they're making their own provisions for that, but we don't review that. So hopefully with all this research, if you have any questions for me.
Any questions for staff?
Do we know if there's any existing utilities in that alley?
I don't know the answer to that. Typically, the sewer is in the alley. When I was out on site, yes, the contractor was saying there's a piece of a sewer line they're actually going to be relocating because of a retaining wall that they have to put in. So the sewer is in the alley. Obviously, the city keeps utility easements where necessary, which would be part of the closure. But the attorney might be able to address that, the specifics of any utility easements.
Good morning.
Good morning. David Box, 522 Colcord Drive, on behalf of the applicant. So if there are utilities, we'll have to make reservations for those within. So what will happen is what we're asking the DDRC to do is provide a recommendation to Planning Commission, who will ultimately make a recommendation to council to close the alley. Once closed, we will then file an action in district court to vacate the alley. At that time, we have to send notice to all property owners and all franchise holders. The franchisees will respond if they do or don't have any facilities within the alley. If they do, what they'll ask for is a reservation of their rights, whereby we have to keep an easement in effect for them, or if we relocate it, we relocate it at our expense. So that'll all be flushed out in the vacation action. And I wouldn't be, the new members, I don't think you have to watch your back, whatever, contrary to Mr. Ainsworth.
Would you have anything else that you'd like to add?
No. We'd ask for your approval. Again, it's kind of a bit unique in that only a little sliver of it is actually within the purview of DDRC, and the balance of it is obviously outside of it. So be happy to answer any other questions, but would ask for your approval.
Does the committee have any questions for the applicant?
I think in general, my only concern would be is if that portion was on the way to another property, but since it backs up to a PUD, it seems like even if the property was sold or changed hands in the future, it doesn't seem like it would make much of a difference. So if it was in the middle of the block and we were closing it, there was another property on the other side, part of the downtown design district that could be sold or changed hands in the future, that might be an issue. But I don't see an issue here. So.
And you might not recall, in the approval that was granted for this property, this is a parking lot that's over here. And so what they purchased, 26 and a half foot, was of the parking lot. So it's not like it was a building that was going to go there. So.
Yeah, I was just thinking, even 20 years out, if it was,
right.
They sold it and somebody else wanted to have an alley back there, but since we're backed up against a beauty property, it's not as much of an issue there.
Okay. I move that we provide a recommendation of approval to the Planning Commission for the request to close a portion of the alley easement within the downtown design district lying north of Northeast 6th Street between North Oklahoma Avenue and the, AT&S and Santa Fe Railroad tracks adjacent to lots 9 and 10.
Second that.
There's a Kriegel-Richards motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Thank you. And I might just point out on this one slide, in case you haven't been down there to see the house, the one house that's been built on 7th Street, and they're getting ready to start some more of them. So I think it turned out really great from what they presented to you guys. So we're going to end up with more of those out there.
Okay, item 7B is election of officers. I believe that what we will need is a motion or recommendation or...
I'd like to make, I guess it's a motion, that Anthony Blatt be our chairperson.
Second?
That's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All abstain? Motion carries. So can I get a motion on vice chair?
Well, I'd like to make a motion that Corey Bates be our vice chair.
I'll second that.
That's a Kriegel-Richards motion. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. So item 8 is communications. We have several items on the communications. Do we need to go through any of them this morning?
Only if you have questions.
No. Okay. Item 8B, we have city council information, and that is basically just our new appointees. So item 8C is comments from planning department staff.
Reminder, next Friday, January 25th, is our big committee commissioner training event. If you haven't accepted or declined your meeting invite, please do. And if you haven't voiced a vegetarian meal preference, please do that as well.
The other thing from staff is we do have a meeting next month. We have 5, maybe 6 items on the agenda. You've probably seen some of them in the paper. So make sure you ink it in on your calendar. It's on the 21st.
Do we have any comments from committee members? Okay, our next meeting date is the 21st of February, and we do have a agenda that is being prepared. And new applications were to be submitted to staff by 4 p.m. on the 15th. And with that, we are adjourned.